Hello, so here we are back at day 2 with our resin adventure, and we have my first bathtub soap dish that we're going to go ahead and demold. And to do that, it's fairly simple. You've got to dislodge the resin from the silicone. You start that by going around the edges, which may take some effort with the new mold because it hasn't been stretched out yet. And the first thing to do is to get air between the side and the resin, which is easier said than done. Let's see. I may have to hold this closer to my body to get that done. Okay. So then we go around the edge. Sometimes you have to roll these molds off the form. Oh! Now here's something you don't ever want to see. Brand new mold, and it's splitting where I'm trying to undislodge what we poured. So that's not the sign of a good mold. Shame on you, Let's Resin. Have to take it off camera to pull. And see, the mold is upside down, inside out. You gotta turn it back right side up. I'm gonna pour another one. This was a tough shape to get out of the mold. And on top of that, side grip. I'm going to write a letter to Let's Resin and tell them that their mold design needs a rethink, because I'm going to have to tape that with silicone tape if I'm going to use this again. How disappointing is that? Alright, so here is the results. Looks like a little bathtub. We've got little bathtub legs. That should be a lot easier to get out of the mold. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. Gotta figure out which ways these go. I think they go that way. And these squares are supposed to fit up in these holes, but they don't. So what do you do when that happens? You take a file and you're going to file it down. white. We've got blue. Red, white, and blue. I guess that's more of the American flag colors there. Green, light blue, and gold. So, and 2 spider votive candle holders. And that's just from excess resin from the bathtub pour. So, pretty good, huh? $5, $10, $15, $20, $25, $30 for those. $38, $46 worth of products there. And people will buy them. And we had a lot of fun making them, right? So you don't have to be bored as heck. You can make a little bit of money on your crafts. So, I'm gonna okay, so in my resin pouring, I decided to do tea light or votive light, whatever you want to call it, holders. I've used these molds before. Again, these are, I think these are from Lex Resin, but I'll double check and put it in the description section. Got 3 of them. And it's time for unmolding. Start with this one, it'll probably be easier. Again, when you're unmolding, you've got to dislodge it from the piece first. So we go around the edges. And I used fresh, dried flowers or real flowers to insert, as you saw in my process video. That was 2 days ago. So these have been curing for 2 days. Most resin will take, a day or 2, or some take 3 or 4 to get to this hard stage. But they won't be fully cured for a couple of weeks. And if you remember correctly, I stuck the plants to the wall, the inside wall of the molds with UV resin, and I'm feeling like they're sticky and they're not all coated. So we'll have to go in with a paintbrush and reapply UV resin to get these to cure properly. But you'll be able to see what that looks like. See, that tells me it didn't cure properly underneath the light that I used. I'm going to stick that back so I can, under the light, so I can go ahead and peel it off and clean it off. Okay, so I think that's quite lovely. And you just run your finger or your, you use a deburring knife or X-Acto knife just to go around the edges and cut off any plant material that's sticking up that you don't need. You just have to feel for it. I just kind of go around the whole thing just to, if there's a little bit of a lip from the mold, I take that off. Then I'm going to take like a nail file. Smooth that out just a little. perfect. Got a couple little bubbles right there. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of scrape those with the edge of this blade. Lift that off with your fingernail. I'm going to add another coating to that flower. That one's fine. And to do that, it's really easy. And a little bit UV resin here. Use your little paintbrush. Do that for 30 seconds, and I'll probably do 3 or 4 coats. Just need to hold that for like 30 seconds. I should really have my gloves on for this, but my fingers are not getting anywhere close to the resin. So I'm not going to worry about it right now. Wow, look at that beauty. That is really pretty. Yeah, it's just gorgeous. Gonna have to do a little trimming. Lovely. Spooky. This is probably the fake ones. The fake lights are a little too big for this hole, which means you would have to use a real candle in there. But it gives you an idea what it would look like. Cool. So, hey, you like what you're learning here? Now you know the routine. You've been around long enough to know the routine for YouTube. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Comment, subscribe, join me. If I do some live broadcasts, would you come? Cool.